Well, it's really interesting. Sometimes when you have bad muscle spasticity, they'll do one of two things or two things in combination, which is where they purposely weaken the spastic muscle with Botox, or a form of Botox called myoblock. And then they would maybe do something called serial casting or stretch casting, where they put, for instance, your foot into dorsiflexion and hold it there for maybe 20 plus hours a day, and then you progressively increase the level of dorsiflexion. You actually can't strengthen a muscle at the same time as you have Botox in the muscle, because the whole point of the Botox is to weaken the muscle so that the agonist or the antagonist muscle for the agonist can strengthen. So the goal with, for instance, putting Botox in the calf muscles is so the dorsiflexors can get stronger. Personally, however, I really hated the feeling of losing that much strength in my calf, because the spastic muscle is always a weak muscle. And so if you're taking a weak muscle and you're purposely making it weaker so that you can strengthen the opposite muscle, you've still weakened another muscle. So that's where, for me, it's so individual what a good treatment for spasticity is. Well, I'd actually never set out to produce a Pilates for MS course at all. I had written a blog post for Pilates Anytime, which is a website run out of America, which just has Pilates instructors and Pilates videos. And I had written a post for their blog that Carolyn Anthony, who is the head of the Center for Women's Fitness, had seen that blog post. And she had a lot of clients who had asked her about, what do you do for MS, and it was just not something that she knew about. So Carolyn asked me if I would consider designing a course on Pilates for MS, and it actually ended up taking me about a year to do the course because it's pretty robust. And that's why I ended up doing the course in the first place. It wasn't something I necessarily planned on. So I have sort of two very divergent jobs. I teach the Pilates for MS course, and I teach, specializing in neurological conditions and work with neurological conditions and neuroplasticity, and that's one end of what I do. And then I also am a co-owner of a company called Fuse Pilates, which I created,